We are back with another The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 3 review. I had the luxury of watching it 3:30 in the morning, so let's see how fresh my memory is on the episode.
I watched it at 8, and your memory is probably still a little more fresher than mine.
So, I mean, on a larger scale, it was just more of an episode that kind of gave us more information about what was going on, and bringing us closer to the motives of our villains, which are what is it? Flag Smashers. The Flag Smashers.
Very unoriginal name, but you know what? You more or less get the message behind their name. Flag Smashers. They want a world without any borders. And once you get rid of the flags, no more borders.
I guess, because that's what it is. It's flags keep making those borders,
those imaginary borders.
Yeah. So, wow. Let's see. Okay, where do we start? We start basically with Bucky saying to Sam that they need to go to Zemo as they in Germany. I believe it was Munich, and they get to Germany, and Bucky says to Sam, "I got to go in and meet him alone." And so Sam is like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, no, this will work. This will work. Trust me. Okay. So he goes in, nothing happens. And he brings Sam into like a warehouse after, says, okay.
Yeah. And
so don't be mad.
You sort of get the vibe that this is where it's going. It sort of gets, Bucky is giving off this vibe to Sam, whereas you would much rather ask for forgiveness than ask for permission.
Exactly. And so he was like, now hear me out. Let's just say 2 people start fighting in the prison. So Sam is like, why would 2 people start fighting?
You know what it reminded me of? Those scenes from Ant-Man.
Oh, with
Michael Pena. When he would talk, and everyone would be speaking.
Right. Exactly. So he's like, yeah. And so, like, what if 2 guys started fighting? And so what you actually are seeing, as Bucky is explaining, is Bucky drops the note and basically insinuating to one prisoner that another prisoner is going to kill him. And they start fighting. And while they're fighting, you see Zemo basically sneaks out of his prison cell and gets out of prison. And it's a longer scene as Bucky's explaining step by step what would happen. And Sam's kind of like, so what are you telling me this for? And then Baron Zemo literally pops up in the warehouse where they're staying. He's like, whoa, what's happening? What are we doing now? And he's like, you got to trust me, Sam. You trust this Steve? You got to trust me. And he's like, fine. And so basically, Zemo, it just lets them know that he's going to figure out a way for them to figure out where the super soldier serum is. The first person they go to,
not so much figure out where it is, but who was making it.
Right, who was making it. And so Baron Zemo first. Where do they go first? Because I think they go to Magic.
They go to get on Zemo's his lair jet. That's what they do first.
Wait, is that the first? Wait, so the first place they go to is Madripoor?
Yeah, after they get on his jet.
Well, yeah, yes, we know that he has a wonderful jet.
And he has on a fabulous trench coat.
Okay, so you're right. So then they get on the jet and they go to
before they get on the jet, Sam goes to Zemo. I didn't know you were rich.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I'm the Baron of Sokovia.
Before you guys destroyed Sokovia.
Exactly. Like, yeah, what did you expect? So yeah, that being said, they are on the plane, and they are going to Madripoor. And basically what Madripoor is in the MCU, because I do not want to speak on the city of Madripoor saying that this is exactly what it is. But in the MCU, it's a city where villains can go and there's no extradition. So it's a lot of unseemly people there.
Yeah, it's sort of a black market city for criminals.
Yeah, or the West Indies for pirates,
Yeah,
basically.
the early West Indies for pirates. And we also discovered that Captain America had a love of Marvin Gaye.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Trouble
that.
Man.
Yeah, so yeah, they
And
get, you know,
Zemo turns to Sam and goes, "You truly appreciate the African American
the plight
struggle,
of
but
the plight of the
the plight of
African
the
American
American
struggle
male."
with
He
that
goes,
song.
he
And
goes, Sam,
he's like, you know, I'm not gonna co-sign on that, but he is very right on what he is saying. You know, and so yeah, it was a funny episode. It's really cool to see Baron Zemo, who's played by Daniel Bruhl. And it seems like they actually have like a rapport between all three of them, and that
considering
works.
considering that Zemo murdered a lot of people, which Tom had to remind me of his dastardly deeds in Captain America: Civil War.
I mean, he literally destroyed the Avengers. He ripped them apart. So I mean, aside from that, yeah, they work really well together. So
But you know what it is though? Everybody's passed. Like there's no more Cap, there's no more Iron America,
Iron Man,
Captain America, and Iron Man. They're
true,
both deceased.
right? And well, I mean, I don't know how they're going to rectify it, but technically, there's no more Black Panther.
Well,
Yeah,
we aren't sure of that yet.
true. I don't know how the MCU has handled that, but yeah. So that being said, we get to they get to Madripoor, and they have to pretend. Well, Sam, Baron Zemo's fine. Bucky, the Winter Soldier, is fine, but Sam has to pretend to be the smiling tiger or grinning. I think it's the smiling tiger, which is like some kind of African warlord.
A charismatic tiger wearing as Sam called it, a pimp suit.
A pimp suit, yes.
Which Zemo has to remind him that you Americans are so foolish.
Yeah,
you can't be a stylish American without.
Exactly. It's like you just look like a stylish, you know, a man with style over here. You know, that's how Americans may see you, but not here. So they go into, you know, this clearly bar of criminals.
Yeah, it almost reminded you of the scene from Black Panther. The underground bar.
Right, the casino. Yes.
The underground casino, excuse me. Yeah, right.
And you know, Baron Zemo's asking to speak to a woman, which I cannot remember her name. It's like Selby or something like
that. The
Merovingian. Merovingian. Oh no. Well, that would have been in the Matrix, yes. But he's trying to speak to, because basically who runs all of Madripoor is the power broker, which we find out the power broker is the individual who owned the super soldier serum and who is chasing what's her name, Carly Morgenthau of the Flag Smashers.
Yeah, that group of people.
Yeah, and so basically they say, listen,
they actually kill some people this episode too. And
I was like, I forgot, this is not like DC. They do not they kill people. Yeah. Well, I mean, they were like point blank putting the gun to and these are the heroes putting the guns to people's faces and pulling the trigger. I was like, whoa, okay, all right. But yeah, they so the bartender basically says, listen, you can't meet with the power broker, he's too high up, but I'll see what I can do about Shelby. And at first they're kind of they don't take him seriously, but Zemo says, hey, I have the Winter Soldier here, and he creates a scene where Bucky just beats down one of the patrons of the bar. And
a few of them.
No, is it a few? I thought it was just one.
They all came with guns to beat him up.
What happened was, after Bucky beat up the first one, they all pulled their weapons out. And then Baron Zemo said to Sam, don't do anything because you'll blow our cover. Mm-hmm. But after Bucky or the Winter Soldier basically beat the first guy down, that's when they let them speak to the woman. The woman then explains to Sam and Zemo and Bucky that there's a scientist who basically created the super soldier serum, and he still is in Madripoor.
He replicated it. He didn't create it.
Oh yeah, he replicated it. Well, he explains in detail what he did.
Yeah.
But basically, she says that's where we got the serum from. And so now you think, okay, everything's good. They got the info. Sam's phone rings. And that's when the lady's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, answer the phone.
Which is odd. Like, I wouldn't even think he wouldn't even have reach for it.
Listen, I silence my phone when I'm at my regular job. So I don't know why he didn't silence it.
This isn't Sam's first rodeo. Or at least put it on vibrate.
Exactly. And so she forces Sam to answer it. His sister's calling him to talk about the loan that they did
completely oblivious to what is going on.
Right. And then Sam is trying to play it off like he is like, you know, still this hardened criminal. But, you know, his sister calls him Sam and basically lets it loose that they didn't get the loan or something. And that's when the lady realizes that they're not who they say they are. And, you know, they have to run out of there and they're being chased by, there's a bounty has been put on their head and they're being chased by all the criminals.
Because they killed that lady.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. No, they didn't kill the lady. The lady got shot, but they didn't kill her because they said, you see her like take a bullet to the head and you hear Bucky or Sam go, they're going to blame us for this. And Zemo's like, well, we got to get out of here. So
them being there allowed for her to be killed.
True. I mean, once again, they did not pull the trigger on that. She got shot because of whatever. And as they're trying to escape, they are saved by Agent 13, Sharon Carter, who comes like out of nowhere and you know, basically saves them. I mean, you know, it's not that big of a scene. And
and we learned through their interaction that Agent Carter has been living on the land for these past couple of years. She's a wanted fugitive.
That is right, because she aided in the theft of Captain America's shield. Go figure. And what's ironic about that is who helped her steal the shield? Sam and Bucky.
Yeah, and Bucky killed a lot more people than Agent 13 ever did.
Exactly. And so yeah, we find out that Sharon Carter is a fugitive and is wanted by the US government, so she has not been back. And how she's been living is she's been selling stolen artifacts.
She's been a curator.
Yes,
of sorts. Of sorts.
Yeah.
And we learned from her that all of these paintings that are in these museums around the world are fakes.
Oh, no. I mean, that's fact. They said that, but everyone knows that. Nothing is real in any of these museums. And so basically she helps them reach this, I forget the name of the scientist, honestly. Spoiler alert, he doesn't last that long, so you don't need to worry about what his name is.
No, but he may come back because it may be a flashback scene.
Maybe, we'll see.
Because you know, we go to meet him and he's in what do they call those? Storage? Oh,
it's not a storage container. It's like a shipping trailer.
Those containers that are on the ships that if you really was someone that wanted to do something bad, you could put something on there and no one would ever find it.
They usually transport humans. That's like human trafficking, shipping cargo, containers.
There are some pretty bad things that go in these containers. And lo and behold, we meet the scientist who was working on the trying to replicate the super soldier serum. And he tells him he tells him a brief story that prior to the blip, as they call it, the CIA was taking blood from what's his name? Isaiah Wilson.
His name is Isaiah Bradley.
Isaiah Bradley, the Black Captain America. The CIA, not Hydra, our good old friends in the CIA have been withdrawing his blood for years and trying to duplicate the serum in order to use it to make more super soldiers like Captain America.
And just to be clear, the doctor's name is Dr. Wilfred Nagel. Dr. Nagel.
Yeah, well, after he tells us his life story, Zemo shoots him in the head.
Yes, and I get it. Like now we don't have to worry about any more super soldier serum being created. You know, unless they get their hands on Isaiah Bradley. You know, I mean, because they're not going to touch Bucky, and they don't know where Cap is. So all that's left is Isaiah Bradley, and I really don't think anyone's going near him again.
Yeah, he's a crazy old man.
Yeah. And so um after they're able to after they kill the the doctor, they then leave Madripoor finally. And but oh, we forgot a small piece. Sharon Carter only agreed to help Bucky and Sam and Zemo if Sam promised to clear her name when they get back to the States. So that's kind of like all that's left. So after they kill the doctor and they escape Madripoor with Agent Carter's help, or Sharon Carter's help, because Agent Carter is actually Peggy Carter, but we're talking about Agent 13, who is Sharon Carter. Um, she just says, listen, all I want you to do is help me clear my name, and they leave.
And does she have a conversation with her driver?
She does. What does her driver say? I don't remember that conversation. I honestly, I mean, was it a big conversation? I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, okay. So once again, yeah, this isn't like a very momentous and huge episode. It's more about letting you know where the super soldier serum came from. He said that he made 20 vials, and Carly Morgenthau stole them. And we know from like their observation that there are 8 individuals in the Flag Smashers that took the serum. So that means that there are 12 vials left, which we realize is how probably what's his name? The US agent who is John Walker is going to get the serum. So then that's when they do a little more digging and they find out that and I'm not sure if it was through Agent Carter or if it's through Zemo, but they realized that Carly Morgenthau was close to someone, a woman, and I do not remember her name, but we see Carly Morgenthau go to this woman earlier in the episode and the woman dies. And it's clear that this woman was really close to her, like a teacher or a family member, like a grandmother or something like that.
A mentor or something like that.
Yeah. And so Carly goes to the woman dies. I cannot remember that woman's name, but that woman is who Bucky, Sam, and Zemo find is connected to Carly Morgenthau.
Yeah, and then as they are walking to her residence, the biggest moment of the episode happens. Bucky goes, "Give me a minute. I gotta go take a look at something." And then as he's walking, he picks up an object. And if you are familiar with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know exactly what this object is. Well, at least you know where it comes from, the point of origin.
I didn't until we got to the end of the scene, but okay, go ahead.
And he goes, I forgot what was his exact words. I thought I saw you, or
oh no, he said, and I rewatched that scene. He said something like,
you could come out now.
Well, he said you could come out now at the end. He said something right before that. But yeah, in the end, he said you can come out now.
And when he turns around, the person who he said you could come out now standing right in front of him. And who was standing right in front of him? One of the
Dora Milaje.
The Dora Milaje of
Wakanda, the royal guards of the Black Panther.
And you forgot why Zemo was in jail. That was an in-your-face reminder of why Zemo was in jail.
Oh, she specifically says, "I'm here for Zemo."
So we aren't sure if she means to bring him back to serve the rest of the time, or if she means to put an end to him.
Yeah,
and that's when the episode ends.
Exactly. I was so excited with seeing that, and this is what's so amazing.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
I was thinking about this too. I wonder if they asked Michonne to be in it. Not
Danielle Okoye?
No, not what is it?
Yeah, okay. So you said her Michonne. I do not remember her real name, but Okoye is the name of the character. But I don't. She seems like too high up to be in it. I mean, she could have been in it, but I don't think they would let her come because we don't know what's happening with Black Panther. We don't know what her role would be. So I think they're like anyone that's
Denai Guerrera.
Denai Guerrera, yes.
Yeah.
I think anything that's closely related to T'Challa, they're not gonna like in touch yet because they don't know what they're doing.
I just meant for more or less like the shock and awe of it. Like, oh,
yeah, no.
I mean,
I think if
you know who she is and what she represents because she's a statuesque female and she has a boy head. So you clearly know.
Yes. And that's what I especially appreciate about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that we get these like, you know, we don't have to necessarily wait 2 years to see Wakanda again. You know what I mean? Like they're dropping these things and it's like, boom, a official warrior from Wakanda is here now that they have to, you know, that's going to be involved. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, and that's what I love about the MCU TV series is that we're getting these droplets of movies until we get back to a huge, big budget film.
Easter eggs. We're getting the Easter eggs all over. Like you watching the series, you clearly there is no daylight between the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Disney Plus universe. They are clearly intertwined and connected.
Yes. So I mean, you know, outside of that, yeah, and I think, and that really was pretty much it. I don't feel like this episode had as much action as the first two, like fighting sequences. But remember, those were amazing movie level fighting sequences. That cost a lot of money to do, so you're not going to get that every episode. And I think, you know, but what the consolation prize is, hey, you didn't get these super crazy action fights, but you did get to see Wakanda a little bit. So there you go. You're welcome.
And you didn't have to watch 5 to 10 minutes of a sitcom.
That's true. Exactly. No sitcom. So we just got right into it. So, I mean, yeah, for this particular episode, I think I would give it 4 water coolers.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm enjoying the Falcon and the Winter Soldier very, very, very much. But I think it's hard to give it a true grade because as we were speaking earlier, it's as if you're watching 6 parts of a movie.
Very true. You're right. Yeah. Each piece, it doesn't like, whereas WandaVision felt very, very episodic. I'm not sure if it's because it represented sitcoms each episode or just because the story or the stories just seem so weirdly compact. But with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it literally feels like every end of the episode, it's kind of like you literally just paused in the middle of a movie.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I guess I'll come back next week to see what else, you know, what happens next.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like we're watching the Snyder Cut on a week-to-week basis.
There you go. There you go. So, you know, those are our thoughts. Looking forward to next week's episode, which will be episode 4. We do hope to hear your thoughts and opinions about, you know, what we had to say in this particular episode.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
Peace.
You've been listening to Two Brothers at a Water Cooler with Mike and Tom, produced by Jamie Fernandez and Peter Bune. Rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts, and you might find your review in a future episode.